Okay, so today we are going to talk about solving one-step equations. So let's start out with a few basic definitions of what an equation is. An equation is a mathematical statement that two expressions are equal. So it's important that we have that equal sign. A solution is a value to a variable that makes the equation true. So we're looking for that value that replaces our letter that makes the equation true. If there is no value for the variable that makes the equation true, then we say there is no solution to that equation. Okay, and we'll be getting into that a little bit later. So let's start with our first example. We're going to start off very simple. Example number 1 is going to be x plus 7 equals to 10. Okay, so we have a mathematical statement, x plus 7. We have a mathematical statement, 10. And we have an equal sign. So I like to start off by showing myself where that equal sign is, drawing a line just so I remind myself. This is one side of the equation, x plus 7. 10 is the other side of the equation. Now remember, our equation needs to stay balanced, always staying balanced. When we solve equations, we know that we work backwards. So if I am adding 7 to x on this side, that's what I'm doing. I have x, I'm adding 7 to it. In order to get rid of the 7, I need to subtract 7. Because remember, my goal is to get x all by itself. So if I'm adding 7 to it, I want to get rid of the adding 7, which is subtracting 7. Now, this is a balanced equation. So whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So we know a positive 7 and a negative 7 make 0. 10 minus 7 equals to 3. And what's left on this side of the equation? X. And so x equals 3. Let's do a second example. Let's do the example x plus 3/7 equals to 4/3. Okay, now if we look at this example, what are we doing to x on this side of the equation? Again, we mark the sides of our equation. What are we doing to x on this side of the equation? We are adding 3/7. So the opposite of adding 3/7 is to subtract 3/7. Whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. A positive 3/7 and a negative 3/7. Remember, we're trying to get x all by itself, so we need to make this 0. Now, I'm going to rewrite our equation to x equals to 4/3 minus 3/7. Now, we're looking at fractions. What do we have to do when we are subtracting fractions? When we are subtracting fractions, we have to look for the like denominator, a common denominator. And a common denominator between 3 and 7 is 21. In order to get 21, I multiply 3 times 7 gives me 21. So 7 times 4 gives me 28. 7 times 3 is 21. So 3 times 3 is 9. We are subtracting. Remember, we had x on this side of the equation. And so we get x equals to 28 minus 9 is 19/21. Okay, so let's do one last example Our last example is going to be a multiplication problem. Example 3. Let's do 7x equals to 52. Okay, remember, we want to get x all by itself. So if I am multiplying x by 7, what do I have to do to 7x to make this 1x? So if I'm multiplying by 7, the opposite of multiplication is to divide. 7 divided, oh, we forgot, whatever we do to one side, don't forget you have to do to the other. Okay, we have to do to the other. So if I multiply this side by 7, I have to multiply this side by 7. Okay, so 7 divided by 7 is 1. I have 7 pieces of gum. I'm going to give them out to 7 people. Each person will get 1 piece of gum. We're left with x, or 1x on this side. And on this side we get 52/7. And 7 does not go into 52 evenly, so I'm going to leave it as an improper fraction. I'm okay with that. We can't do any simplifying, so I'm going to leave it as 52/7. And that is solving one-step equations.